You're sitting on the floor. Maybe it's late. Maybe something broke inside you today. And before you even make a sound, your dog is already there. Head resting on your knee. Eyes looking up at you with something you can't quite name. Most people call it loyalty. Some call it instinct. But behavioral science calls it something far more extraordinary. Because what your dog is doing in that moment isn't random. It isn't habit. It's a finely tuned psychological response. One that took thousands of years to develop. And most dog owners completely misunderstand what's actually happening. The popular explanation is simple. Dogs sense your sadness and come close because they want to comfort you. Oh, sweet. Intuitive. Makes sense, right? But here's where things get interesting. If dogs came close simply because of emotional cues, they'd do it for anyone who cried. Strangers, neighbors, anyone. But they don't. Research shows dogs respond differently depending on who is crying and how well they know them. That changes everything. Because now we're not talking about comfort. We're talking about attachment. In 2012, researchers at the University of London conducted a study involving dogs and their owners alongside strangers. Each person was instructed to either cry, hum, or talk normally. The dogs consistently approached people who were crying, regardless of whether it was their owner or a stranger. But the way they approached was different. With strangers, dogs showed signs of stress, tucked tails, averted eyes. With their owners, the body language shifted entirely. Soft eyes, slow movement, physical contact. The researchers concluded that dogs aren't just sensing emotion. They're calibrating their response based on the depth of the bond. Scientists didn't expect that level of social nuance. What does this tell us? That your dog has built an internal map of you. Your sounds, your posture, your breathing patterns, your emotional rhythms. When you cry, something in their nervous system recognizes a deviation from your baseline. In psychological terms, this mirrors what attachment theorists call a secure base response. The instinct to move towards someone you're bonded to when distress appears. Your dog isn't just comforting you, they're anchoring you. And the biology behind this is remarkable. When your dog makes physical contact during emotional distress, both of your bodies release oxytocin, the bonding hormone. Your cortisol levels, the stress chemical, begin to drop. Your breathing slows. Your nervous system, without you doing anything consciously, starts to regulate. Studies from Linköping University in Sweden found that simply gazing into your dog's eyes raises oxytocin levels in both human and dogs simultaneously. Think about what that means. Your dog isn't just responding to your pain. They're chemically intertwined with your emotional state. You calm them, they calm you. It's a loop. A biological feedback system built over millennia. Go back 15,000 years. Humans and wolves begin sharing space, then fire, then food. The wolves that survived weren't necessarily the strongest. They were the ones that could read human emotion. The ones that stayed close when humans were vulnerable. The ones that responded to distress signals rather than ignoring them. Those animals were kept, fed, protected. And over generations, that emotional sensitivity wasn't just rewarded. It was bred into the species. The dog sitting beside you right now carries that entire history in its nervous system. When you cry, it doesn't think. It responds. Because the ones who didn't respond didn't survive long enough to become your dog. But here's the part that researchers genuinely didn't see coming. A 2018 study published in Learning and Behavior tested whether dogs would try to rescue their distressed owners. Owners were placed behind a door and instructed to either hum calmly or cry. Dogs whose owners cried opened the door significantly faster, not just because they were motivated, but because their stress levels were lower. Let that sink in. A dog responding to your emotional pain is calmer and more focused than when there's no distress at all. Some researchers believe this is because the bond activates a kind of protective clarity. Your pain doesn't paralyze your dog, it activates them. So when your dog rests their head in your lap while you cry, they're not confused. They're not just seeking warmth. They are running a program written across thousands of years of coevolution with your species. They are reading your breathing, your chemistry, your muscle tension, and they are saying, without words, without performance, I am here. You are not alone. I choose you. Now pay attention to this part. If your dog suddenly stops responding to your emotional distress, or if they begin hiding, flinching, or avoiding eye contact during moments of sadness, don't ignore it. This behavioral shift can indicate that your dog is experiencing anxiety, physical pain, or emotional overload from a stressful environment. Dogs who live in chronically tense households can become emotionally desensitized, their own nervous system too dysregulated to respond to yours. It's a quiet signal, but it matters. Here's what the science is really telling us. The relationship between humans and dogs is not one of owner and pet. It is one of co-regulated nervous systems. Two species that learn to survive together by reading each other so deeply, so consistently, that the biology itself changed. Your dog doesn't love you despite being an animal. Your dog loves you through a biological architecture specifically shaped to bond with you. So the next time you're sitting on the floor at midnight and your dog crosses the room without being called and places their weight against you like a question and an answer at the same time, remember what's actually happening. That isn't coincidence. That is 15,000 years of evolution, arriving exactly when you needed it. If this changed the way you see your dog, subscribe. We explore the hidden psychology behind animal behavior every week. And tell me in the comments, has your dog ever come to you when you were upset? What did they do? I read every single one.